Delta Airlines is going to start feeding people Shake Shack on flights. They're going to have to be first class flights, and they're going to be leaving from Boston. Now, I know what you're thinking. How many people from Boston fly first class in Delta? Not that many. They're like, well, we can't serve food on a flight. Aren't they too busy kicking Asians off their flight over capacity issues to be worried about a health scare from Shake Shack? You already have enough to deal with going through the Boston airport. Is this how you get people to stop fucking in your planes? We're going to incapacitate these people. Listen, they got in a little bit of trouble for punching an Asian guy in the mouth, screaming, carrying him off the plane. Whole ordeal was made. They're like, typically this flies way under the radar. Typically we can hit Asians in the mouth and drag them off the plane and be completely fine and not make the news. Stop the Asian hate, huh?
The results were otherwise unremarkable.
Happy Communicate with Your Kids Day there, gang. What's going on? Welcome back to another episode of your favorite solo podcast, Unremarkable. Guys, we're back in the speakeasy. Dad just wants to have a word, huh? We're just we're just hanging around. Listen, I'm sorry we skipped Thanksgiving. I feel like it was just important that you guys stop binging on this show and pay attention to your families a little bit on the Thanksgivings. National Communicate with Your Kids Day. Dad is here to tell you we're doing it 2 weeks in a row. This is a family-oriented pod, is what this is. I am Dad, obviously. Your little drinking pal, Goose, Gonzo Gaspacho, on all the platforms, guys. Do the hitting us up. The DMs, the comments, we do not care where it is from. Real good week, I think. Real good week to communicate with your kids. And that's exactly what we're doing. Speaking of communicating, if you got any drink recs that you want us to summarize how we feel about here on the pod, go ahead and send in the drink recs. If you want to see what Dad thinks of the poison of your choosing is like, and the stories. Listen, you could DM us fucking for advice. I do not care. Just hit us up. Anything you want that you would like to hear my humble opinion on the pod, go right ahead. It's encouraged. We want to hear from you. It's a special day, the communicating with your kids. I think it's important. I think that we should be open with one another. Listen, we've gotten to know each other pretty well, okay? And I think that it's important for our relationship to be healthy, to be open, to be honest, to communicate with one another. And I cannot summarize how I feel about the communication with words. It just, it warms my heart. Warms my heart to hear that everybody's doing good. Everybody's all cool, huh? Just chilly, huh? Chilling out. I'm like, fucking, I'm huge. I got my Gymshark shirt on. And I'm busting at the seams, kid. Dad's getting fitty in the city. Shout out to Gymshark, not a sponsor. Just like your stuff a lot. Dad looks good. Big ups to those guys making Dad look good, making Dad look healthy. I think that it's important for the kids to see that Dad looks like he's taking care of himself, huh? It's not me taking care of me. I promise you that.
As he sips from the brown bag.
Was not a sip. Gotta suck the Red's Apple Ale out of my mustache. It's getting thick. Mustache is getting thick. I do not like the facial hair. Don't know what you guys think. Do not like the beard. I'm much more of a Van Dyke man. Let me know what you think of Dad's facial hair. Communicate with Dad. Let him know. Do I look silly or not? I think so, a little bit, honestly. Guys, big week for love, mostly. We got a couple down in Florida. Just so happen to be in the pen. Okay, not a big deal. I did start out the sentence saying couple in Florida. So the fact that they're in prison, not a full-on shocker, I don't think. This is a story about love. This is a story about love, and it's, hey, and we're not making light of it, okay? We're not going to do what you think we're going to do and turn this into a whole some kind of silly fiasco, okay? What we're not going to do is pretend that the story is not about a lovely couple. Look at these guys. Good Lord. Daisy Link, 29. Very cool name. Can't imagine that her parents were very old. Because Daisy and Link are very lazy names. Honestly, Daisy's something you name a pet. Daisy's something you name like a, cute little mini horse or something. Anyway, she's being held at the Turner Guilford Night Correctional. God, that's a mouthful. For the alleged murder of her husband in 2022. We did spell out Florida here at the beginning of the story. Doesn't matter. Link gave birth to a baby in June. The child's father, I think they prefer the term baby daddy there. Let's be proper. Another inmate, obviously. How else could it happen? Through the grace of God. Joan DePaz. Okay, that looks like her name. And that's a summarized Italian last name. He's 23. She's 29. Look at this. Age differences can be... I don't know. I feel like a lot of women fixate on the whole being younger than the men that they're with. And I don't think it's a big deal. My mom is older than my dad by a fair amount. Like over 6 years. They did not meet in prison, though. They met at a bar that my mom was working at. Go figure. Yeah, they had a baby. He impregnated her without even meeting in person. This is a love story, guys. This is what we're doing. This is what life is really all about, huh? You got to get to know each other. Listen, it's not just National Communicate with Your Kids Day. Dad is here to talk about love, is what Dad's here to talk about. Listen, it's not Valentine's Day, but I feel like we just need to, listen, it's the week after Thanksgiving. We've said what we're thankful for. We need to hold on to that. We need to really bear hug, hold on tight, huh? To what matters in life. Link said that she and DePaz began a romantic relationship after speaking to each other through an air conditioning vent in their walls. So paper thin, even in prison, I think. This sounds like they were just kind of held up in a motel room somewhere. Which Florida, I'm not going to put it past Florida. Maybe they renovated a hotel, a motel, a Holiday Inn into the Turner Night Communication Facility or whatever the fuck that shit was called. I don't know. It's Communication Day. Yeah, vents in their cells. Usually when I see a room, a dorm, if you will, a flat, as the Englanders call it, a cell. Usually when I see that, there's not really a vent there. I didn't think, not that there shouldn't be ventilation, obviously, but I think I don't know. I just think that they should probably be full-on concrete walls, no? I see a lot of videos of people communicating with each other in prison, but they're doing it through, like, emptied out toilets. You know? Like, they're just getting all the water out of the pipes and doing that on the playground. Remember how there's a horn connected through a pipe to another horn on the playground, and they go, hello, and you... Hello, I hear your voice. You know, you don't necessarily come into that.
Nope.
They devised a plan to have a child after DePaz expressed his desire to become a father. What's DePaz in prison for, I wonder? If she's in, and how open was she? How open to communication was she? At which date did she disclose what she was in there for? And how many dates did they go through before conceiving?
Dates.
You know? How many meals? We're calling all the dates just the daily meals, I guess. And that's pretty much it, is how many days did they go through before this horrible, horrible plan? The pair reportedly tied bed sheets together, attached the semen in plastic wrap to send it, plastic wrap to it, and sent it through the vents and into her cells. Well, that's just her cell. It became her cells, if I'm not mistaken, as to how procreation happens. I put the semen in a saran wrap every day. Where are you getting saran wrap, by the way? What are you getting fed? Where I would have thought it was something like, yeah, you know, I had what are they making there? You know, they're like, I made myself a top ramen burrito. You know, I crushed up some chips and got the noodles a little wet, and then smashed everything down to where it kind of felt maybe like it could be a tortilla. It's like going, you know that feeling in your mouth because you've gone to plenty of fast food chains, and they're not quite tortillas. They are maybe a little waxy, maybe a little less waxy than cum. But I don't know that cum is waxy. I don't think cum is waxy. However, I do think cum could make things waxier. Don't know. Haven't had any in my mouth.
Kinda.
Don't know the mouthfeel of semen. I put semen in the saran wrap every day, like 5 times a day for like a month. I love that they were honest with how many times he says like. And who interviewed these people? Where's the video? Oh, now hold on. Dude, if I'm shooting once a day, anything after that's going to be not that much, I don't think. 5 times a day for like 5 days. That's how you know this guy's committed to love.
He did it for a month.
He did it for a month. That's fucking disgusting. That's insane. He would kind of roll it up and almost like a cigarette. Oh my God. He would kind of roll it up almost like a cigarette, and he would attach it to the line that we had in the vent, and I would pull it through. From there, I'd place it inside of the yeast infection applicators. Now, this is how we know our prison systems are going to shit. Is because now who's giving these women ways to gain a yeast infection? These yeast infection applicators. That's what it sounds like to me. That they're being given devices. They're like, no, I get dick plenty. And it's just, they're like, let's just skip all the nuances of showering and not showering. And just give these bitches, you know, a way to make some beer. I'd place it inside of there. Yikes. Inside of there. And then from there, I administered it. Now, I was kind of thinking before they talked about that applicator or whatever, that she could have just like go-gurted the thing into. How disappointing would it be if he's like, here, I want to have a baby. This took 40 hours of work throughout a month. I'll feed this through this Go-Gurt container of cum. And what if she just goes,
Ew.
he goes, Daisy, that took me so long to do. Oh, Daisy. She pranked me, damn it. Oh my God. I would not call it a miracle baby, by the way. I would not call it a miracle way. I would say miracle whip and love finds a way is what I would say. She murdered her husband. Well, now I would love to know why. Well, he's a cutie, huh? Good Christ. Holy shit. Yeah. Listen. We love here. God, I'm glad I have a drink. I'm going back on what I said. Honestly, I don't think love is love. I feel like a lot of people should not be around one another at all, period. This is, I do not like the word toxic, but I don't know what other word to use. Currently, Link's family is looking after the infant, whom Link has called a blessing and a miracle baby. A miracle whip baby. DePaz likened Link to like the Virgin Mary. Holy shit. Denying any physical interaction. Both inmates are still in custody. No shit. Awaiting their trials. Can't wait. We're gonna live stream these guys. I hope they're back to back. If you got a girl pregnant, compared her to the Virgin Mary, are you not comparing yourself to God?
Me, Joseph.
No. It's very much his baby. Unlike Joseph. America's first stepdad. Joseph. Don't know his last name. Of Nazareth. I don't know. We're going to call him
Joseph Carpenter.
Joseph of Tatooine. That's probably what that place was like back in the day, was just Star Wars, huh? Just some creatures rolling around, not everything's fully extinct. Dinosaurs were around when Jesus was there. Listen, if we're gonna make believe, let's go all the way. Foot freak Jesus just washing these feet for free. Weirdo. The first Quentin Tarantino. I don't know, dude. This is we need updates on the child. I'm sensing a Gypsy Rose situation coming, is what I'm assuming is going to happen, because I cannot imagine that this child is growing up to be fine. I can't imagine that, they're just living out there in a trailer trying to make ends meet in Florida somewhere, and the kids just writing letters to Santa, and mom is trying not to murder another man. I don't know. Love is love, but sometimes it's not. I don't think that wasn't even a good way to start the ep. Listen, this episode is not about love. I take it all back. These people are horrible. They need to remain in jail. I think the child should stay in jail his whole life. Prison, even. I think let him grow up around his parents. Let him live in the vent. Make the vent just a little bit bigger. Let him outgrow the vent and make a decision on if he wants to live with mom or pop. Child of divorce. That's not going to be the worst thing that happens to that kid. For sure. And I am speaking from experience. Neither one of my parents were, attempted murderers or successful ones. Doesn't really matter. They did attempt life, or they did not succeed, but they're still around. I love my parents. I'm not gonna, they didn't. I wasn't conceived in a prison or anything. I'm not an animal. Delta Airlines is gonna start feeding people Shake Shack on flights. They're gonna have to be first class flights, apparently, and they're gonna be leaving from Boston. Now I know what you're thinking. How many people from Boston fly first class in Delta? Not that many. Can't be. And if you're thinking of food, Shake Shack is you never think of Shake Shack when you think of food. And I want that, and I want to be very clear on that. I've never even had Shake Shack. I'm sure you guys are a great time. But who is doing this? They're like, well, we can't serve food on a flight. We're going to go ahead and we're going to microwave some cheeseburgers that we claim are 100% Angus beef patties topped with cheese and served on a toasted potato bun. On Delta? Are you going to trust, and I'm seriously, guys, what? Are you going to trust Delta to serve you a good burger? Aren't they too busy kicking Asians off their flight over capacity issues to be worried about a health scare from Shake Shack? Somebody's going to be, on their fourth one of the day already, having to go through the Boston airport. I don't know what their airport's called, but I can imagine that's all. You already have enough to deal with going through the Boston airport. You get on a plane, you're like, finally, it's over. And they go, Shake Shack? And you go, what? Why? No, thank you. I'll have a weird Coca-Cola in a tiny cup. I want an 8-ounce Coca-Cola, and I want a cup so small that I pour it 1.5 times into that cup. I don't want Shake Shack. I cannot imagine flying first class out of Boston via Delta. How small is your new money? Huh? You could be investing in different things. Okay? Get yourself a Caesar salad. Get yourself a dark chocolate brownie reminiscent of Shake Shack flavors from some of the brand's dessert offerings. But they say, would you like a Shake Shack burger, a patent Shake Shack burger? You go, no, because we're at 35,000 feet above the Earth's surface. And no, the last thing I could possibly imagine happening, first thing I could imagine happening is another terrorist attack. But the second worst thing that could happen to me is eating Shake Shack miles above the Earth's surface. No. Is this how you get people to stop fucking in your planes? Delta? Is this how you get people to stop making hanky-panky? Is you give them food that they're like, listen, the human body cannot sustain anything more than one Shake Shack burger 35,000 feet above the Earth's surface. We're going to incapacitate these people. What we're going to do, we're going to really put them out. Everybody's going to be napping. This is just like that broad that was given the kids sleepy patches at schools. Okay? You're hurting people now. You're just hurting people. Why do you want to hurt people? I don't understand it. Listen, they got in a little bit of trouble for punching an Asian guy in the mouth, screaming, carrying him off the plane. Whole ordeal was made. They're like, typically this flies way under the radar. Typically, I'm very sorry, guys. Typically, we can hit Asians in the mouth and drag them off the plane and be completely fine and not make the news. Typically, we don't have vloggers. These fucking people, these purple-haired vloggers on the plane. And all of a sudden, everybody's got a cell phone camera. Stop the Asian hate, huh? Feed them Shake Shack. That way, it's like punching in a dream where you can't really hit them that hard. I don't know. I don't know where we're going with this. I just don't know. I just don't see where we're going with this. At what point you're like, "Ooh, I'm flying first class." Delta's real. Delta's a very real company. They're going to keep it real with you. You're going, "Oh, I'm flying first class Delta." And you're like, "First class Delta is not first class." And we'll prove it to you. We're going to serve you Shake Shack. What about In-N-Out? No, absolutely not. In-N-Out cannot be 35,000 feet above the Earth's surface.
They should have done Wahlburgers.
Wahlburger? Huh? Have Marky Mark on the fucking plane there. And promise you, no, none of them terrorists are going to come dick around over here. Would that never happen? It would have never happened. Okay? I promise. What are you talking about? You guys want a burger? That's my Marky Mark. What's going on?
Yeah.
I don't even know what you're talking about. What should your mother say about this? That's, by the way, not his pull-up. His pull-up is not a pull-up. I've seen a lot of people talk shit about Marky Mark's pull-ups. And got to agree. Mark, just say you can't do a fucking pull-up. Here we go. Here's me communicating with the kids. I can't do very many pull-ups. I don't know how many I can do. I can promise you it's not many more than one. I don't even know if it is one. Nothing wrong with it. We could be open. We could be honest. We could communicate with the kids. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Here's me being open and honest. That's not a fucking pull-up. Dude, hold on. When you're doing fucking pull-ups on Ellen, I mean, who needs to tell you that you're useless? Who needs to tell you that you have no business doing anything in life? Look at these fucking sorry-ass pull-ups. Throw your weight into it, Mark. Come on. It's 19,000, Mark. It's 20 grand for ultra skincare products, Mark. What a douche. Mark Wahlberg's a believer. Mark Wahlberg loves God. And that's nothing to talk shit about with Mark Wahlberg, unlike his pull-ups. Mark Wahlberg is a believer. He's a believing man. He's a God-fearing American. And I would love to know what he thinks about the church in Switzerland that just swapped out a... Okay, listen. Guys, this is going to be the melting point for me. A church in Switzerland swapped out their priest with an AI bot. I think that thinks it's Jesus.
It's a hologram.
Well, it's holographic. Wait, hold on. That's a confession booth? Okay, I don't think these Swedes know anything at all if they got Jesus looking through a confession booth. And he's like right in there. He's like looking through the confession booth that you're not supposed to be looking through that holy wall, the holy wall. Oh, there we go. That's why. That hole in the I don't even know what to call it. There's a little sheet with a bunch of holes in it. You've seen a fucking confession booth in movies. Don't ask me to explain it to you. I've never heard of Jesus. These guys have religion kind of backwards, I think. Jesus was not a Catholic. I think that he did think about forgiveness, but I think it's because usually, his dad might have been mortified with what he was doing with the feet. And he's like, my dad forgives. Don't even worry about it. My dad's a super forgiving guy. And they're like, Jesus, you better hope to God that your dad's a forgiving man. According to the installation's description, visitors share their thoughts and questions in a confessional with a heavenly hologram. Good Lord. This is the dystopian future, guys. I'm dead ass serious. Look, you can feed come through vents in prison. We're feeding first class Bostonians Shake Shack on Delta flights. And now we got Jesus holograms in other countries. Where America's bleeding into other countries is what's going on. This is something that should have happened here. This should not have happened in Switzerland. I think maybe they've just had it so good that they're like, let's just fuck around a little bit, huh? Let's just fuck around a little bit. One visitor to the exhibit at St. Peter's Chapel reported the AI addresses them as "Peace be with you, brother," regardless of gender, and encourages them to share whatever is troubling your heart today. This is super Catholic. This is just like, I feel like somebody told them about church, and they're like, yeah, we can do that. While designed to offer a moment of personal reflection, the installation is not intended to replace the sacrament of confession, according to CNA. I don't know what CNA is. Rather, the project was, quote, created by researchers at a local technical university in concert with theologians who say they want to raise questions about the use of technology in religious settings and to demonstrate the ability of AI to answer questions about the Bible. I think you're looking in the wrong place. I think you're really messing with powers you don't understand, because these things already think they're gods. Unlike the eternal Son of God, AI Jesus chatbots AI Jesus chatbots like the one in the Lucerne appeared to learn new information and update responses over time. Ask them about Gypsy Rose. According to Joseph L. Kimmel, a scholar of the Christianity and comparative religion at Boston College. Okay, well, what do we ask of Boston for? They're fucking feeding people Shake Shack at the Delta flights. What the fuck do they know? For instance, yeah, let's go to Exhibit A, please. Kimmel previously said one chatbot model of Jesus. So how many? I'd like to really have a word with Kimmel. One chatbot of Jesus, quote, referred past interactions with users and nuanced his responses accordingly, saying, I have received this question about the Bible's meaning before, but in light of the question you have just posed, I want to add that blank, 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 etc. So he's taking in experiences right now, which most people are. I'll give them that. Most people are gonna do. They're like, listen, I heard a lot of shit, and I think a little differently of the Bible now. Which, okay, I respect. Variations of an AI representation of Jesus have already debuted online, including Twitch channel Ask Jesus, an experimental AI-generated live stream that gives viewers a chance to query a chatbot, quote, trained after Jesus, and the teachings of the Bible. I need that training montage, is what I need. I need to see Jesus. There's a Buddhist chatbot? What the fuck do they have to say? In Thailand, named the AI Monk. Awesome. Pretty cool. Is represented with a human face and discusses Buddhist notions of
Impermanence.
impermanence. Oh, right. The classic Buddhist topic of impermanence. Another idea is on his Facebook page. Jesus Christ. Another Buddhist chatbot is in development in Japan. Didn't they commit genocide on Buddhists over there in Japan? I don't need to bring that up, do I? It was either that or Buddhists in Japan were like cutting off arms and legs and shit. It was wild. Not what you would think Gandhi would approve of, huh? He's like, let's just fuck bitches.
Get money.
Get some money. I don't know why I went Indian there, but I feel like Gandhi sounded Indian. No, Gandhi was it.
Oh.
Gandhi was Indian. Okay, all right. I just questioned why it was happening, and then okay. Gandhi, skinniest Indian. The skinniest Indian. Mahatma Gandhi. It's it sounds a little bit like something you'd hear a cartoon character say to a very attractive woman. Mahatma Gandhi. Anyway, I don't know. That's all I got on Gandhi. That's all I got on Gandhi, obviously. I haven't been well read. I'm going to start doing that now. Shit weighed 3 tons. Mahatma Gandhi. 3 tons. I got to start doing that now. Write that down. Put that in the docket. Huh? Hit the bell. It's not all going to shit. Some people have faith in this world. And you kind of got to respect it. Some people know what's up. Some people are doing the right thing. Not the first time we've heard. South Korea holding it down for their people is what they're doing. We had a guy, I'm 99% positive is serving the military in South Korea because that is what you do as a man in South Korea at a certain point in your life. You have to serve like a year, 2 years as a man in South Korea. I'm kind of into that. I kind of like that. South Korea, probably pretty badass. Not a lot of people fucking with them. Kind of got shitty neighbors. They should be real loaded up. I think if World War III is going to happen, we're going to be very surprised with South Korea and Canada, is what I think. We're going to be real shocked at South Korea and at Canada, and I don't think we're going to see it coming, and I don't think they're going to really want to be allies with anybody. But I think they're going to really hold it down, is what they're going to do. Either way, not the story. The South Korean government is imprisoning a man over gaining 44 pounds because... And I mean, he gained 44 pounds because he didn't want to hold it down. Guy doesn't like some work. And I mean, dude, I've never heard of weight gain being conspiracy. But this man just wanted an easier life. He wanted to make sure that he wasn't asked for too much. He didn't have too many responsibilities with his job. I could respect that. But a 44-pound weight gain, I cannot imagine. 44-pound weight gain over the course of, I'm assuming, is not incredibly long. I'm pretty sure I could gain 10 pounds. Oh, man. In a quarter of a year, how much weight do you think you could gain? And that's always funny thinking about skinny kids. And they're like, I've been trying to load up and gain some weight, and it's just impossible. Your heart's just weaker now. You're just as skinny. Your arteries are shit. I can load up, dog. I can load up some poundage. Didn't mean for the porn line to... In a quarter, I think I could gain 44 pounds. If I tried, if I like really went for it, we're talking pints of ice cream. We're talking Shake Shack. Really load up. I bet I could gain 44 pounds in it. But I'm not a fighter, and I'm not willing to get that weight off that quickly. So I'm not even gonna really attempt anything like that. I'm not gonna even imply that I'm ready to attempt anything like that. I'm not Patty Pimblett, for Christ's sake. That guy is an animal. I don't know how much weight is problematic. Listen, in America, we got plenty weight problems in America. Okay, we're kind of known for it. Don't try and outdo us, South Korea. Maybe that's what South Korea was doing. You got to put Mark Jong in check, whatever the guy's name is. The court said the man had double. They're like not. They don't name him. Oh, damn, I want to know his fucking name so bad. The court said that the man had doubled his daily. The court is paying attention to this man's dietary routine, which is so fucking funny. The investigation goes so far that they find out not only what he was eating then, but his caloric intake before. They're like, yeah, I think he was, naturally, he kind of resided around 156 most of his life, his adult life. He resided around 156. And we started to notice the cheeks getting a little, he looked like he was ready to sleep a lot of the time. The court said that the man doubled his daily food intake and consumed excessive water. Oh, no. Ahead of his physical examination for the national military draft. I really would love to know what this process is like. I actually am intrigued. I think that it's a good idea to have these processes in place. And America could have saved themselves a lot of heartbreak if they would just stop with the freedom bullshit and be like, listen, we're going to lay down some ground rules first, and then you're free to do what you want with that. Because in America, they say that everything's freedom. And then you got to do something on accident and wind yourself, land yourself in the fucking slammer, just because you didn't know it was illegal, to blow a .18 and drive. Silly here. They should discuss the law. They should lay down the ground rules before throwing people's lives away. And this man knew damn well what was at stake with his life. And he decided to just get up and go ahead and gain 44 pounds like a selfish son of a bitch. What are you going to do? His initial exam. Oh, there we go. That's why they knew. His initial exam in 2017. God damn, America, come on. What are we doing? This is phenomenal what I'm hearing. I'm learning a lot. And I'm figuring out that we're doing a lot of shit wrong. The Fitness Gram Pacer test was nothing but a terrorist plot against children. And if you gave them the threat of this early on in their lives, maybe they wouldn't gain 44 pounds in a quarter. He was addressed at level 2. I'm loving every part of this. The second highest level, qualifying him to serve in a combat position. So the better you do, the more odds you have at killing somebody. Guys, let's go, dude. Don't you want to bask in the sun with drying blood all over your forearms? Come on, guys. It's hard to clean off. It kind of hurts to scrub at first because it's just caked itself on. Somebody else's blood, I mean. There's nothing more satisfying than killing the enemy, I've heard. And they're promising that as long as you're good. As long as you're good, you too can kill the enemy. And I love it. I love that. Make it a trophy for them. Good. But when he went in for another physical examination last year, he was arrested. Fuck, I read it wrong. He was, though. He was arrested. He was arrested. That's why I read it that way. I'm sorry. He was assessed at level 4. Then he was arrested. The weight gain having resulted in a body mass index that classified him as obese. Oh, no.
44 pounds in 6 years is not.
Dude, if you're a level 2 to be a killing machine and you gain 44 pounds and they call you fat, I'd start fucking cutting heads off right away. Be like, I'll show you a killing machine, motherfucker. I just gained 44 pounds of knock your fucking head off. Come on. Well, I promise you it wasn't muscle, what he was doing. But by the way, what fast foods can this guy possibly be eating? I mean, South Korea, I understand, is, basically free in the spectrum of most countries, with the standard being America. I'm sure there's plenty of bullshit to eat in South Korea, is what I'm saying. But I just kind of feel like America has way worse things. Like in South Korea, you're like eating way too many noodles. And you're like, oh, I would love to get fat on noodles. How do I get fat on noodles? I'll tell you what. Dude, if I'm eating nothing but Taco Bell and fucking Carl's Jr. and Shake Shack, I'll make that happen with absolutely no muscle coming in. Absolutely no muscle coming in. But pho? You give me ramen and pho, and I can pack on 40 pounds that way? I'm an absolute murder machine. I'm an absolute killer. You may as well put me in Florida in prison as a woman that's ready to conceive a child with a younger man, because I'm a murderer at that point. Okay? Count me in, Mongolian beef. Dog, I'll put on 44 pounds of the Panda Express so fast. So fast.
The Panda Express.
The Panda. Why is it that the added to anything makes it so Midwest? I don't get. It's the fucking Panda. All right. Let's see the article again, because I'm concerned for this man. I think that this man needs to seek refuge. I think that he should come to America. I feel like if you come to America, odds are you're gonna have a layover. Come out to where we are. We'll talk to you. We'll set you up with a nice life. You can get fat if you want. You don't have to. You might have a layover in Boston. The good news is once you set out from there in a first class flight that we set you up with, you get a little bit of Shake Shack, 35,000 feet above the ground. Okay? You get a little new experience in your life. You're not going to get jailed in South Korea. Don't let these fucking K-pop people put you in prison, baby. Getting fired up. The assessment, he would be spared from combat. Oh, no. Oh, jeez. Oh, God. Americans flee the country at the prospect of war. I call them cowards. I call them, people's grandpa usually. The draft is going to be set back in motion. These cowards are going to go to war like men. I don't like the wording, but the assessment meant that he would be spared from combat duty and instead assigned a non-combat role at a government agency that allowed him to commute from home. No! You keep him from his family. You keep him from his home. You keep him from his animals. The court official said that the man got the binge eating idea from a friend who was sentenced to 6 months in prison, suspended for 1 year. Don't know what that means. 6 months in prison, though. So he just had a buddy tell him, you know what, I heard work for my uncle. Before I went to work for my uncle, is you gain nearly 50 pounds and they can't ask you for shit. That's kind of the rule. But what he left out was that his uncle also spent nearly 6 years in prison. We didn't say jail. I don't know, given if South Korea has jail or if it's all just prison. But I'm going to go ahead and assume that they don't have jail. If you're going to jail if you're going to prison over obesity, I'm going to go ahead and assume that these people don't even fuck around with jail. They're like, no need. We keep our people pretty in line here. And to prove it to you, we're going to go ahead and throw people in prison that don't. Do women have to serve in the military too? I don't think they do. Yeah. South Korea's got it right, man. Keep the women doing the singing and the dancing and the, K-pop and the cooking and, all that shit. South Korea is more American than America. Really, if you think about it, this is something we should be doing. And the only reason that we have women in the military is because the men can just do what they want. God, give them a goal, huh? Listen, do you want to murder or not? Listen, what we could be doing is dropping these people in jail. What we should be doing is dropping these people in jail. Let me rephrase that. These people need to go to jail. These people need to go to prison. I don't like it. I don't like encouraging people. This is South Korea don't fuck around with that body positivity shit. Okay? And this is what we get in America when we fuck around with body positivity. People talking about how they don't have enough numbers in the military. Agreed. Let's go on this. If somebody gains 50 pounds in a quarter, which honestly for most people is kind of a task, jail. If you got a friend that encourages you to do less, to pack on some pounds, this guy was hit up with aiding and abetting abetting the man was aiding and abetting the offense. I don't know what abetting is. Abetting, Shohei Ohtani got in trouble for. So what? It almost ruined the man's career. Aiding and abetting, throw him in jail. I think what they meant was eating in a bed. Eating and getting crumbs in your bedding will land you in the slammer for 6 months. Good. I think it's good. I think these people need to be held accountable. That's what I think. I think that America could learn a lot, honestly. Trump, stop fucking around with Kim and get with Saul, whatever the person's name is that's in charge of the South Korea. And let's learn a little bit, huh? Let's take a step forward. That's all I'm saying. I think they're a little wrong for maybe doing it. I think that the man felt that his hand was forced. straight into a bucket of fried chicken, of course. But his hand was forced, goddammit. He didn't want his life to be cool. He didn't want he didn't want his life to be pretty enthralling. He didn't want to be a killing machine. He'd never obviously seen any Jason Statham movies, because I think that's what you guys should figure out. Introduce your kids to Jason Statham at a younger age then, if they don't want to kill. If they don't think harming people's badass, show them Jason Statham. Hurting people's pretty sick. I think it's pretty cool. They're tolerant of tattoos. They're pretty cool, dude. I think they're pretty cool. If BTS had to serve, if these fucking pop star singers had to serve, you could serve too. That should be the standard held, I think. And I think it would help you with communicating with your children. Communicate with your children. Let them know. Knock it off with the Go-Gurts. Knock it off with the Lunchables, the Crustables. Or else you're getting sent to camp. And not cool weight loss summer camp. South Korean military training camp. We're going to make you a citizen. What's it called when you're a citizen? We're going to give you dual citizenship in South Korea. That way you have to serve somewhere no matter what. Communicate that with your children. Very cool. And I think that's what I'm trying to say today now. I think that's the hot seat point I wanted to take. I found it. Force your children into the military. Force your children into violence. And if we'd have done that in the first place 15 to 20 years ago, we wouldn't have Shake Shack on Delta flights. You silly nannies. Guys, always, check out the other episodes from Unremarkable. Do the rate and review and subscribe, and do drink racks. Send in some drink racks. If there's any kind of stories or topics you want to hear my humble opinion on, go ahead and send them in DMs or comments or whatever you think. And right, as always, we're going to be right back here next week, shaking some titties and kissing some babies and signing some hands. Miss me?